This is Paul for Redneck Sports. I believe that everybody should win in life, or at least attempt to. The first three maxims of General Robert Neyland's game maxims, I believe apply to everybody. The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. If at first the game or the breaks go against you, don't let up. Put on more steam. Welcome to the channel. Now let's discuss some sports. Like, subscribe, comment. Show what your opinion is. Let me know if you like what you've seen. And I thank you for your support. Howdy y'all. This is Paul with Redneck Sports. If you want to contact me via social media, if you want to help me out via my Patreon, it's all in my link tree down below. So, week 5 is done, and there were some exciting games, and there's some games that I want to talk about, and there's some stuff that I want to say about what happened this past week, that some of it has to do with what University of Tennessee is going to be facing, and I'm going to also talk about a little bit about the group of 5 possibilities going into the college football playoff, because of course the highest ranked group of 5 is going to go. So we're going to discuss all that today. We're going to hear about some of the things that I think. So hold on to your seats, and we're going to talk about some football. So the first game I'm going to talk about is the Ole Miss Kentucky game. Kentucky went down to Oxford, Mississippi, and they beat Ole Miss at home. Think about that for a minute. Kentucky played Georgia really tough, and you know that Georgia, under Kirby Smart, is a tough team. Okay, they got an Alabama problem, but they're a tough team. Very few teams can beat them. And so Kentucky playing them that difficult, and then they beat Ole Miss, who, okay, Ole Miss didn't show their best. I was listening to some of the folks that are Ole Miss fans, and they were talking about, even some of them are talking about the faking of injuries that Ole Miss seems to do. Lane Kiffin, I don't know what in the world that is. There are times that I can appreciate him. There are times I can't appreciate him. But this Kentucky Ole Miss game, let me tell you, that shows when we have to play Kentucky that we're going to have to play a really good game, because Kentucky will fight every minute. And let me tell you, after having lived in Kentucky, them folks don't like us very much. And so we're going to have to bring our A game when we're playing Kentucky. We're going to have to play them like the rough and tumble games that the Bear Barrel has been known for in the past. So let me tell you something. Kentucky is not going to back down, and they're wanting something. Now, I'm going to go more in depth tomorrow, but the Arkansas Texas A&M game. Arkansas has been playing tough, but they haven't been able to quite do what they need to do. And so, Kalen Green, he had 23 completions on 41 attempts, 56.1% there. His QBR was 116.4. He had a decent game. Rushing had Quindon Jackson, 10 rushes, 37 yards. It wasn't a strong game. Kalen Green had 13 rushes for 6 yards. This is a very beatable team. And Texas A&M probably could have done a better job of it. So it's making you wonder. I mean, Mike Elko had a talented group coming in, so I'm not real worried about Texas A&M. I'm not real worried about Arkansas Razorbacks. We're going to have to bring at least our C game on that game next week, but yeah, that's the Arkansas Texas A&M game. Now, Mississippi State and Texas. There's not a lot to say. We're not playing Texas right now. Um, Now, would it not be wild? Would it not be wild if UT played UT when it came to the SEC championship? Don't think that that would not be one of the best games to get to go in to have. That would be one of those epic games for the simple fact of people are even, I've said this at the beginning of the season, and, or actually even before the season began, but people are saying, who's the real UT and SEC? Well, they played Mississippi State 35-13. Mississippi State, man, they're rebuilding hard and heavy. They're not what they were under Mike Leach. It's Mississippi State. We're not talking about a school that's ever going to have an amazing team. They can, but the money's not there. So I'm not real worried about Mississippi State, but Texas, oh, I want it to be. I really do. I would love to see an SEC championship, UT versus UT. Don't tell me that that wouldn't be pretty amazing. Now, Mississippi State did do some scoring. They weren't not fighting. They Michael Van Buren, 52.2% in completion, 12 of 23. Uh, he had negative rushing yards, unfortunately. Their best runner got like 75 yards on 15 rushing. Their best receiver, 6 receptions, 57 yards. So, they're not going to be that difficult to beat. They're really not. Um, I just thought I'd bring this one up because, well, Texas. I really do want to see UT versus UT in the SEC championship. Now, the big game of this past week. It doesn't matter what conference that you support. It doesn't matter how you look at college football. When it comes to the biggest game this past weekend, it was Georgia and it was Alabama. And let me tell you, both teams put on a showstopper. This is something that you stopped watching any other game and you focused on this game. Not until the second half, mind you. But Jalen Milroe is. It looks like there might be another Heisman headed to Alabama. I love Nico Iamaleava, but he is only playing his first year. And you know as well as I do, if you're a University of Tennessee fan, that the Heisman Committee hates the University of Tennessee. I mean, you take a look at what happened to Peyton Manning. So, yes, I would love to see Nico win the Heisman. But Jalen Milroe, after that game, that man, let me tell you, that man showed some oomph in his step. And Carson Beck, he led that team back to within the chance of winning. They almost got that game in the second half. Both of these teams are beatable, but both these teams deserve to be ranked in the top 5. Both of these teams are scary. And they put on a game that it shows Kalen DeBoer is making sure that what Nick Saban built, it's still there. And Kirby Smart, he just needs to get over, I hate to say it this way, but he needs to get over his Alabama phobia or something. I don't know what it is at Georgia, but there's something there. So this game was pretty good. If you missed this game, might want to find it. The SEC network will probably rebroadcast it sometime this week. But my lord, that was a game. And it shows what we're going to be facing. These are the last two teams. If we play to our best, these are the two teams that we could get losses from. And let me tell you something. They look like we could have a chance. I'm not saying that we do, but I honestly believe the University of Tennessee's got a chance against these teams, but it's going to be a hard fought game. And our O line has got to hold up. Now let's talk about the group of five a little bit here. Army 42, Temple 14. Okay, Temple's team is not that good, but Alabama, pardon me, Army is 4-0 right now. That's pretty good. And the Black Knights of Army, them folks are not playing around. They are working towards trying to get to be the top of the AAC. Now, I'm saying that they're very dark horse candidates, but the only game, they've got two games that they got to worry about. The only game that will count towards getting in the college football playoffs is Notre Dame. Think about that. Notre Dame's beatable. They've proven that they're beatable by a team that's willing to go all out, and it's Army. And they're playing for something. You know that they're playing for something. If they can beat Notre Dame, they're going to be a dangerous game. Now, mind you, I still root for Navy, and we're going to talk about them next, but Army's looking pretty scary right now. Navy is also playing to be the top of the AC pile. And they played UAB. It was 41-18. Now, UAB, Trent Dilfer is trying to build that team back up to something that they were before. But I don't really see them being able to do it. And Blake Horvath, there are a lot of people that are talking about Blake Horvath. He was 9 of 11, 81.8% completion. He ran 13 rushes for 84 yards. They also had Daba Fofana, who ran 8 times for 42 yards. So, and also they had another feller, Brandon Chapman, 7 times for 36 yards. So they've got some runners in there. It's Navy, of course they do. Navy, they're my second favorite team, and lordy, I ain't seen a Navy team like this in a while. Now, here's a team that I don't think is getting a lot of respect by anybody. James Madison, 63, Ball State, 7. James Madison just came off of a 70-50 shellacking of North Carolina at North Carolina. JMU is 4-0. They're second in the Sun Belt. These folks, they're trying to get to a point that they're scary. And they are scary. And so we need to watch them. This is them not being ranked is criminal, in my opinion. Yeah, they're playing in the Sun Belt in their group of 5, but let me tell you, they are used to winning, And dear Lord, they're going to want to try to win. So, yeah, these are a team that you need to keep watching. I'm going to keep telling you about them here and there. Now, right now, it looks like Boise State will be that group of 5 team that makes it into the college football playoff. They beat Washington State 45-24. Now, that was a shellacking right there. The only team that has beaten Boise State up to this point is Oregon, and it was only a 37-34 loss. That's how good Boise State is. Now, looking at their schedule, they haven't really got another team except for Oregon State. Oregon State's the only other team that they've got to play that should be scary. Utah State, not that scary of a team. Hawaii, definitely not that scary of a team. And I can Hawaii, that's and they're going to Hawaii. So this is a fun little game. UNLV, they lost their quarterback. I honestly don't see them being able to keep going. They've got a good offense, but I think that Boise State can play them. San Diego State, Nevada, San Jose State, Wyoming, and Oregon State. That's what they got left. So keep watch of the Boise State Broncos. These folks are probably going to be who's going into the college football playoff from the group of 5. Now, the other teams that I brought up, yes, they've got a chance because they're undefeated, but that's just it. Something could happen, so we got to keep watch. Week 5 turned into one of those weekends that makes college football worth watching. Ole Miss getting beat. That was something right there. Army and Navy are undefeated. Everything else pretty much played out except for the Georgia-Alabama game. Yes, people predicted that Alabama was going to win, but also people predicted that Georgia was going to win. This was a great weekend for college football. Tennessee got to rest up. That O-line, those O-line folks got to rest up. I don't think that the O-line's going to have that big of a problem that they're going to be weakened this coming week, but I'll discuss that tomorrow. If you missed out on these games, go back and see if you can find the games to watch them. These were some good games. These were worth watching. So, hey, it's college football. That's my love right there. I like other sports, but this is my love. So I hope you enjoyed this game. And if you like this video, hit like down there. If you ain't subscribed, hit subscribe for me. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day, y'all. Bye now. Thank you for watching this video. I've had some fairly good success with all of my Redneck Sports stuff. And I hope you enjoyed the topic. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, all that rigmarole. And also, just let me know what you want to hear about. I'll give a redneck spin to this stuff. Let me tell you, I love sports. So, I love people that want to join me in that. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.